This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi, good morning all. So let's get started now. So today we are going to work on agents. Okay. So here in the PRPC, so agent is an internal background process which executes activities on a periodic basis. Okay. So note down. So agent is an internal background process so which executes an activity on a periodic basis. Okay. So let's say, for example, so if you want to execute an activity, so what we need to do? So we need to log in into the application. And so when we execute a flow, let's say if activity is referenced in the flow and that will be executed. So when we execute a flow, but sometimes, those have to execute in the background. Okay. Let's say, so if in an insurance application, so you want to send an email to all the customers, about their policy renewals before it is getting expired prior to 1 month. Okay, so we'll have the list of customers available in the database. Okay, and so their start date and end date will be different. Let's say if the start date is today and end date will be the next year, on the same day, so the 1 year, right? So before, 1 month prior to it is getting end dated, so we need to send an email. Okay, so we cannot execute this manually, right? So we need to implement the logic in the activity. That activity we will invoke in the agent and we will schedule that agent. Okay, yeah. So let's say we can schedule an agent on daily basis. Okay, so every day the agent will execute and which fetches the details, like, the activity fetches the details from the database and it will send an email to all the customers. Clear? So based on the schedule, so it will the agent is going to wake up and it will execute the corresponding activity. The simply the agent is associated with an activity. Okay, so agent is a separate rule type. So we will create the agent and we will invoke the activity inside the agent. Okay, and we can schedule, like, every hour or every day or weekly or monthly or even, yearly also. Okay, so if you schedule, on daily basis, so every day it will wake up on the scheduled time and it will execute the activity and activity is going to perform it. Let's say, so in this example, so it will fetch all the customers from the database and it will send an email one by one. Okay, so currently in our application, so we are sending an email after submitting the borrower details, right? So we have invoked an activity in the post processing of borrower details. Okay, so now, so I don't want to send an email to the borrower immediately. Okay, so we need to send an email at one point of time in a day. Let's say, so we are processing 100 borrowers a day and we need to send an email to the borrowers at a time, let's say the evening 5 o'clock every day. So in that case, So what so we can do is we can take all those work objects and put into some table, and when agent wakes up, the activity is going to uh, bring all those work objects and send an email one by one. Okay, so we need to make all those items, the work objects, into the queue, and later so we can use those that queue to send an email, so instead of sending immediately. Okay, so that so you don't need to execute the activity each time, so when you submit the borrower details, right? So in that way, so you can improve the performance of an application. Clear? So now, so agent is part of sysadmin category. Okay, so we are going to create an agent, right? So right click on the class, so go to the sysadmin and agent. So let's see the rule set versions. Did we log 03? So 03 is unlocked, right? So let's unlock 03, and so that so all the rules we can save as it into, create into 04. Okay, either saving as or creating. So but before that, so we need to check in all the rules. Insert and click on start. So this is how we check in the bulk rules. So you can have multiple rule set version in unlock. Okay, so let's say if multiple people working on the application, in some people will work on in some rule set version like that. So but so here, so whenever if you create a new version, so it is better to lock the previous rule set version. Okay, otherwise some rules you create in a higher version, some rule in lower version, so it will not be picked properly. Okay, so now these two rules are not checked in. Let's do manually. So these are in private edit, right? So you can discard it because these are in locked rule set versions. Okay, so now let's create the agent. So by default, it is showing the highest version, which is in unlocked, right? So now, okay, let's log 03. Lock and save. 03, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, so we log 03. So now, so if we create any rule, so by default, it will create in 04. So go to the sysadmin agents, and here so you can create only one rule set, sorry, one agent per a rule set. Okay, so you cannot create multiple agents in you know in a single rule set. So this is the PNC loans. Here you can create only the one rule set. Okay, inside the agent, so we can create multiple the scheduled agents. So we'll be discussing about those. Okay, so let's say so we are creating the PNC, the standard agent. Okay, or let's say PNC agent. So here, so we have two types of agents available. So one is the standard agent and another is advanced agent. Okay, so the example which we discussed, like the sending an email on submission of borrower details, right? So which comes under the standard agent, right? So here, whenever the standard agent wakes up, so it will check the entries in the queue table. If it finds at least one item in the queue table, so it will execute the corresponding activity. Okay, so inside the agent, either it is standard or advanced, so we invoke the activity, and so based on the scheduled time, the agent wakes up, and before it is executing an activity, it will check the items in the queue table. Okay, this is the standard table, so we need to handle that. Okay, so let's say as part of the borrower details, the loan application processing, so we made we executed the flow, let's say 10 times. Okay, so the 10 items will be available in the queue table. So when agent wakes up, it will process all those 10 items. So if you do not have any item in the queue table, so it will not execute the activity, right? So the standard agent is depends on the queue. Okay, so note down the definition. So you can always define in this way. So whenever the standard agent wakes up, it will check the items in the queue table. Okay, so if it finds at least one item, it will execute an activity. Otherwise, it will not. Okay, so we have some standard activity to make the work objects or items into the queue table. So we have a standard queue table called the PRSys queues. This is the table. Okay, so if it is the advanced agent, so it is not dependent on the queue. So whenever the advanced agent wakes up, it will execute an activity directly. Okay, so you can note down that point. So advanced agent, right? So whenever the advanced agent wakes up, okay, you can note down. So whenever the advanced agent wakes up, it will execute an activity directly. Okay. The first we will work on a standard agent, then advanced agent. Okay. So it's very important. So here, so it is depends on the queue, right, in the standard agent. So let's say we are processing the loan application, okay, and whenever we submit it, the borrower details, it will send an email as per the current logic, right? So now what we do is, so we will not send an email immediately. We will take that work object and put into PRSysQueue table, okay? And so when that corresponding agent wakes up, it will process all those items, okay? But so what kind of scenarios we do using the advanced agent, right? So let's say, as discussed in our first example, so we need to send an email to all the customers whose premium is getting expired prior to 1 month, okay? So let's assume that there are 100 customers, okay, and the some customers take in the insurance on some date, and some other customers the different dates, right? So we need to send exactly 1 month prior to the end date. So we need to write the logic in the activity, and so we invoke that activity in the advanced agent, and we schedule, let's say, on daily basis. So whenever the agent wakes up, it will fetch all the customers with that logic, with that condition, and it will send an email. So here it is not dependent on the queue, right? So we have list of customers in the database table, just fetching the customers and sending an email one by one using the loop, okay? So in those cases we use advanced agent, okay? So if there is any work object involvement, we go for standard agent, otherwise advanced agent. Okay. Any questions so far? So now let's create an agent called PNC agents. Create. Okay. So this is the agent, and inside that we can create multiple the scheduled agents, either it is standard or advanced, like this. So legacy, it has deprecated, we don't use that, okay? So that is the reason, like, you don't need to create multiple agents in a single rule set, okay? So this is the agent, so we create the scheduled agents, multiple, right? Inside this you can create a number of the standard or advanced agents, okay? So first let's create the standard agent, okay? So this is the agent rule form, and so you specify agent name, let's say send email standard agent, okay? And so you can select the pattern, either recurring or periodic or startup. So startup means it will always execute only when the server starts up, and the recurring, right? So here, like, so daily, weekly or monthly you can execute like this, and you have the time zone also, okay? So I want execute daily, let's say 10 a.m. in some time, Pacific time. So you need to select that time zone, and it will send an email based on that. It will execute an activity based on sorry. So it will wake up every day at this time, and it will execute the corresponding activity if items available in the queue table. Okay. So here we have periodic. So you can specify the time in the seconds. Let's say if we put 1000, for every 1000 seconds it will execute an activity. Means like it agent wakes up and it will execute the corresponding activity if the item is available. Okay, so the mode is standard, and the categorize, let's say, if it is part of the correspondence, you can select that. Let's say if you are sending an email, and if it is if you are using in the case management, you can select this like that. Okay, so since we are using this as part of the correspondence, so we can select that, but it is not a mandatory. Now, so ultimately, so we need to invoke activity, right? So this activities belongs to which class? So we have activity in the work class that you need to specify. So simply like, instead of operator, so agent will execute activity. So if you want to make an activity executable, so we need to run, right? So we need to log in into the application and we need to execute it manually, or let's say if it is referenced in the flow or somewhere, when you execute a flow, it will execute the activity. But here the agent will take care of execution. So if application server is up, so it will so based on that time, it will always wake up and it will execute activity. So you don't need to so bother about that. So it will execute in the background. Okay, just give me 1 second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so here so we need to call activity and need to specify in which class this activity available, right? Okay, and save it. Okay, we'll be discussing about max records and parameters, okay, later. So now, so let's say open the activity. So we invoke this as part of so we invoke it in the post processing of borrower details, right? So now we can remove from that, because so agent will send an email, right? So now let's take the borrower details flow action. So it is there in 03. Let's save as into 4. Okay, so we can remove from here. So we need to make the corresponding work object into the queue table. So whenever you click on submit, so you can send an email at any point of time in the flow. So if you want to uh, take the item into the queue table after submitting the first screen, that is fine, or even in the last step also. Okay, so but at the time of making the item into the queue table, so you need to make sure all the parameters which you are passing to the activity are available. So let's say so in order to send an email, so we need a 2 email address, right? So remaining details we are capturing it from account anyhow. So but like we are taking some details dynamically, those should be available. So let us say, for example, like you have a 2 email in the third screen, but you are making the item into the queue table in the first screen, after first screen. So in that case, like you cannot have the 2 address and it cannot send an email. Okay, so you need to decide at which point, so you need to make the item into the queue table. Okay, so now let's do immediately after submitting the first screen. So anyhow, so we have the two email in the first screen itself, right? Got it? So let's open the flow, any flow, like we invoked in both auto loan as well as the home loan, right? It's there in 03, save as into 04. So let's remove this one as well. Okay, and here, so once you submit the first screen, that is borrower details, you need to take the item and make it into the queue table. So later when agent wakes up, it will process that, right? So here, so we have a standard activity called queue for agent, so we can use that to make items into the queue table. Okay, so we must need to use the queue for agent activity, or we have a method called queue for agent. Okay, so you can create your own activity and you can call in that. Okay, that is also fine. Okay, so in order to call an activity, so we need to use the utility shape, right? Okay, and connect it and click on utility and call the activity call queue for agent. This is out of the box activity, you need to remember. Okay, so if you open this activity, inside this you see the method called queue for agent. Let's say if we have activity, and we can also use this method. Instead of using the queue for agent activity, you can also use the method, but you need to pass the mandatory parameters. Okay, so how the agent, how the system identify this item is belongs to this agent, that we need to specify here. Okay, so whatever the agent we created, those details we need to specify, and with that reference, item will be inserted into the queue table. So later when agent wakes up, it will find only the the corresponding items, not other activity, other agent related items. Okay, so what is the agent rule set we used? Agent rule set, not version. What is the rule set we used for agent? PNC loans, right? That we need to specify. And what is the agent name? Send email standard agent, right? So you can copy PNC loans. Yeah, so you can copy from here. Okay, and paste it. Send email the standard agent. So it should be same as agent name. If you put the wrong one, so it will not work. Okay, so take from that and copy here, and the max attempts and minimum age for processing, these are additional parameters, so these are not mandatory. Okay, so we'll discuss about those. Any questions so far? This is, so let's say we are creating the items, that's it. Okay, and submit it. Okay, so now let's go to the agent, the PNC loans. Okay, and if you want to modify, so you need to check out it, right? So here it is enabled. If you disable, it will not work. And if we come under the security, so we need to select, so bypass activity authentication. Okay, so this access group is required for only advanced agent, that we will discuss as part of that. And so it doesn't require any authentication, so it will execute in the background. So so it will fail if you do not select this option, bypass activity authentication. And in the activity, so you need to select this option. So where is the send email? Open the activity. In the security tab, so we need to select allow direct invocation from the client or service. So it is there in 03. Let's save as into 04. This is related to the security. Okay, so you need to enable this option, right? Allow direct invocation from the client or service. So generally, so when we invoke the activity in the service related rules or in the background rules, so we need to enable this option. Okay, so now, so we created agent, and so that will be configured in the application called SMA. Okay, so which monitor all the background process related rules. Okay, so go to the system, operations, SMA. This is the inbuilt application of the PRPC, and where we can see all the requesters, like so who logged into the application, and so you can see some of the performance related things and all the background related rules like agents. So we have a concept called listeners. Everything will be configured here. Okay, and if you want to manage, like if you want to disable or if you want to execute, we can do that. Okay, so by default it will be like this in your system. So we need to create a node. Okay, node is like one system, we can say that. So one application server. Okay, so initially, so you will not have any node, you need to create that. Let's say PNC, and please select whether the SMA. So SMA is nothing but system management application. Okay, so is connecting to locally or a remote PRPC server. So if it is the real-time application, so it will be like the remote connection. Since it is a personal edition, so the server is there in the system, right? So you need to select local JVM connection. So in the real-time application, so you don't need to take care of this. All by default, you will have all the nodes, all the systems. Okay, so click on submit. So whenever you create an agent, so that will be configured here, so automatically. So behind that, so we have here some out of the box activity, so which always check the newly created agents. If there are any agents available, means like created newly, so those will be configured here automatically. Okay, so that is also scheduled, and you need to wait some time to see. Otherwise you need to restart the mission. Mean like you need to restart the application server, so that you will see the newly created agent under agent management. Okay, so all the agents available here under the agent management. So when you click on the agents, so these are the list of agents available in the system. These are out of the box agents, and so we created some agent, right? So it has been configured. sometimes, so it will not be configured, due to some issues. In that case, like you need to restart application server. Okay, and we will see that. And if you make some configuration issue, like if you are not configuring the agent correctly, then also it will not be available here. Okay, so now these are the list of agents available, right? And so these are active and running. So if we want to stop the agent, so I want to stop the standard agent, and we can select this radio button and we can stop it. And if you want to make it executable, mean like, if you want to make it run, so you need to restart again. Okay, so the system queue management, so where like, if agent is failed, let's say, it is processing items and some of the items failed, right? So those failed items will be, stored in the broken process, in the same table with the status broken process, and we can open those items and we can check, so what is the error, so what causes, to be failed, so we can see all those information. Okay, any questions here? So this is, here you see only the agents under this tab, and the failed items, and what are the items scheduled, how many are success, like that you can see. So logging and tracing, so the logging level setting, these are the different things we'll be discussing. And so where we can see some of the log information, and in the advanced option, so where we can see the cache related information. Okay, and we'll discuss about this. All the database management, like so it will show like database related information. I think for this we need separate configuration, so we'll see that. Okay, mostly we see, the agent management tab, and so we need to know about the listeners. So this is a separate concept, like, so it automates, it let's say it takes the files from the system and it will load the data into the table automatically. Okay, so this is also background process, so we'll be working on this practically the later. Okay, and the memory management, like it will show what are the requests and how much data, being used currently, those things. This is the cache information. Okay, the rule cache, the declarative cache, these are the different, caches. Again, like, this is the separate concept about the caches, and we'll discuss, or like, you can go through the PDF regarding the caches. Okay, and here the requester management, where you see all the requesters who connected to the system. Okay, so currently, so we log into application with only one operator. So you see, that with start with H, all the browser requesters. So let's say there are 10 operators who logged into the system using the browser, either Google Chrome or Internet or Mozilla. So those operator IDs, will be shown here, and the requester ID will start with H. H means HTML is related to browser. Since we have only one operator, it is showing only this one, admin@PNC. And so we have, different requesters, will be discussing that. So if the request ID start with B, that is related to the batch, so that is related to the agent. So agents are executed by the batch requester. Okay, those request ID start with B. So likewise, we have, the different requesters that start with A, app application. So these are service related. Okay, so we'll be discussing, about the requested types the later. Clear? So now, so agent is active and executing, right? Do you see that? So now, so since we do not have any items in the queue table, right? So it cannot, even it executes, it agent wakes up, it cannot send an email, right? So what we need to do is we need to execute the flow, and let's say we need to, we have invoked queue for agent in the auto loan, right? So when you submit the first screen, the item will be inserted into the queue table, that is PRC queues, that is handled by queue for agent. So now let's go to the database, query with the PRC queues, and if you have any data, we'll remove that, and we will see that how the statuses are getting changed in the PRC queues. So every point is very important here for interviews. Okay, so let's take the query tab. What is the table? Select start from PRC queues. So we have some items related to the different application. So let's remove all the items. So anyway, these are not related to our PNC loans, but so in order to avoid the confusions, let's remove all the entries. Okay, so we have PRC queues with no entry, right? There is no record. And one more thing you need to see is, so at what time we specified here? Right, so 30 seconds. So that means for every 30 seconds, so so better to put 60 seconds. Okay, because okay, first let's test this and we'll change later. So sometimes, like, if you want to trace it, so it should be 60 seconds or more than that. Okay, so now, yeah, let's let it be. Okay, we have 30 seconds. That means for every 30 seconds the agent wakes up, it will check the items in the queue table. If it finds, it will process it, right? So currently, so we do not have any item in the queue table that we see, right? So now let's execute the auto loan. We need to see the email, right? Just give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, let's enter all the mandatory details here. So in order to send an email, so we need the 2 email address here, right? Let's assume that, so you have specified 1 hour. Okay, you the interval 1 hour, right? And in the 1 hour you execute the flow 10 times. Okay, and after 1 hour it will send an email to all those 10 work objects, like whatever the email you specify. Not immediately, since we specified 30 seconds, it will send the immediate after 30 seconds. Let's 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, so let's submit this. Okay, so currently we do not have any items here, and now I am submitting this in the post processing, right? Means like, in the flow we invoke queue for agent after the first assignment, right? So now when you click on submit, what will happen? That queue for agent will be executed, and that will make the corresponding item into the queue table. Do you see the record? And directly okay, it went to broken process. That's what, like, we need to change the time. Let's execute once again. Sometimes, like, we need to restart the server so that you will see. So it should not be failed. Three, four, five, six, right? Let's submit it. So now, second item. So we need to close the work object immediately. I will tell you why. Okay. So the schedule, right? So that means the first status, if you look at, so we are not, refreshing this. If you refresh, the status will be changed. Already, status changed, like, since we put, 30 seconds. So the initial status would be scheduled. That means whenever item is inserted into the queue table, the status will be scheduled. Once agent wakes up, it will pick the item, right? So once agent pick this item, the status will be changed to now processing. That you cannot see immediately. It will be changed to now processing. Then it will process the item. So once the item is success, let's say it send an email successfully, it will be removed from the table. If it is failed due to locking or some other logic issue or whatever it, so it will put in broken process status. Scheduled, now processing, broken process. Now, if you execute it, so let's see, both are broken process, right? So here you don't see the reason why it is failed. Okay, since it is failed, you cannot see even email also. Now go to the SMA system queue management, and we have two broken process items here. Okay, open anyone, see the details, and here you will see somewhere you lack access required to execute rule OBJ activity. This is some security related. Okay, so we have enabled that, right? Yeah, just give me 1 second. So here it is failed, due to some, issues. So Here you can see that you lack access required to execute, activity. So what we need to do is here, so we enable that, bypass in the activity, we enable that, right? So we need to restart the server so it will work. Okay. And sometimes you will see, like, due to the locking, let's say you have created a work object and immediately, so the work object is not closed and immediately agent has been picked. Okay. When it is processing, so it is already locked by some other requester, right? So I am the operator, agent is a different requester. So it will be failed because of it is already acquired by, the lock is acquired by some other requester. So if we make, like, if we put more time, there are, like, if you handle at last step in the flow, you will not see any issue. So at the time of agent processing, it should not be acquired by some other operator. The lock is not acquired by some other operator. So if you if you submit the first scan and if you open the work item still, it will be failed. Okay, right? So if you restart the application server, it will work. I will show you that later. Okay, in the next class. In the next class, so we'll be discussing all other options, like, so we have some parameters, max attempts and minimum is for processing. And so we'll see, the complete standard agent processing and how to, trace it. Let's say it is failed, right? So we can trace the activity and we can see all those the failed steps in the activity itself. Okay, so for that, so we need to use the remote tracer. Okay, that option is available in the tracer, and we need to capture the agent request ID. And so at the time of agent execution, so you need to make sure the tracer is active and running. Okay, so once we done with the standard agent, and we'll go for advanced agent. So it will be simple, like, so you will just configure the advanced agent and put the activity. So you don't need to handle the queue for, queue items and all these things. Okay, any questions so far? So you practice this, you understand, right? So you go to the database and query the table and see the statuses, how it is getting changed, right? And we'll continue in the next class. Okay. So thank you. So we'll connect tomorrow.